Well, good morning and welcome to CityLine. It's great to be in your home. This morning, it's a frosty Thursday morning, October 10th. I don't know where the month is going, but we have a lot of things to get through. Later on in the hour, we'll be talking with the City Events and Recognition Committee. They're here to talk about, and it's going to happen quickly, the Martin Luther King celebration coming up, and some of the ideas and events that you'll experience when you attend that auspicious event. And then the Crystal Judson Family Justice Center is here to talk about a new program that they're kicking off. You don't want to miss that. And then Symphony Tacoma is here to talk about the first concert of the season, and they have a beautiful collaboration with Tacoma School of the Arts, so you don't want to miss that. And then with me right now, because it is Arts Month in October here in our beautiful city of Tacoma, I have the AMOCAT Arts Award Winners here with me in the house. And if you don't know what AMOCAT is, well, it's Tacoma backwards. I think it's one of the best things we've ever done. So please join me in welcoming Klair Etheridge. You are the co-founder and director of T.U.P.A.C. Welcome, my dear.
Thank you.
And tell us what T.U.P.A.C. stands for.
T.U.P.A.C. stands for the Tacoma Urban Performing Arts Center.
Yes, it does. And boy, is it making news. So it doesn't surprise me that you are an award winner. Congratulations, my dear.
Thank you.
This beautiful woman next to you, Aya Hashiguchi Clark, you are the co-founder and producer of Dukesbay Productions. Welcome, my dear.
Thank you.
Good to have you here. And rounding out the couch is a man who needs no introduction, Mr. David Fischer. You are the executive director of Arts Live.
Good morning.
Good morning. And we're going to talk with you later on in the hour, actually later on in the next 12 minutes, I should say, about your award and what it means to the city of Tacoma. My first questions are for Klair and Aya. So let's talk about, for both of you, and of course Klair first, describe your organization and what kind of work it does.
The Tacoma Urban Performing Arts Center was formed because we found a need. When I say we, my late partner, Cabby Mitchell III, a need for children of color to have high quality ballet instruction. So with that in mind, we sought out some of the best teachers that we could find from Pacific Northwest Ballet in particular, to train our children who don't necessarily have the means financially or who have felt neglected in the standard ballet schools in Tacoma. So we wanted to give them something where they could focus on being positive. We don't wear pink tights and pink shoes. We wear flesh-colored tights and shoes.
Yes.
So that we just feel accepted. And when our children see other children who look like them and teachers who look like them, it really helps them to elevate when they're not forced to take their afro and natural hairstyles and straighten it into a bun or something that's not natural. We wanted them to have that feeling of self-esteem and being accepted in a formalized ballet school.
I love that. Okay, so I've changed my mind. I'm going to stay with you for a second because I feel like you've just opened something up here and I don't want to move until I'm finished with this. So let's talk about how your organization, because you've kind of alluded to this, uses art to positively impact our community.
Oh, well, last year we produced for the first time the Urban Nutcracker.
Yes.
Which it's such a wonderful story. It takes place in 1981 as opposed to 1881, and it's also set in Tacoma. And with that, the Black audience or community has not had an annual holiday event. And we just wanted to have something where the community could be involved in a formal ballet. But within it, in the second act, there are what's called divertissements. And they're normally a Spanish dance, a Chinese, kind of a travelogue. And what we've done instead is we have, instead of Arabian, we have our African dancers.
Love it.
Instead of the Russian dancers, we use our hip hop class. This year we have something new. There's a portion called flutes. And we have a pose class, which is based on the TV show Pose and voguing. So we have 3 posers during that portion. And we bring in professional dancers to round out the ballet portion, but our children actually get to dance. And that's one of the most rewarding things, is seeing a ballet which is inclusive.
That's incredible, because many of these children, when you say 1980s, I mean, they weren't even born then.
Right.
But talk about a lesson in dance, culture, and history.
Yeah.
You pretty much have nailed it. So when you think about the role that arts play in the community, how do you fit into this equation? How does T.U.P.A.C fit into it?
Well, to be able to tell stories from a perspective of people of color. We also this year, produced a ballet, full-length ballet, Harriet, the Black Swan, about the 4 seasons of Harriet Tubman's life. So being able to tell our stories in a formalized setting is wonderful. This year we're planning on mounting Giselle and setting it in a Black community. Wow. So there are ways to tell classical ballet stories, but from a perspective of people of color.
This is amazing. No wonder you've won this award. And in my books, you should win it every single year. But I'm not in charge of that, so don't take that. All right, Aya, let's talk about your work and your organization. Tell us about it.
Well, Dukesbay Productions was founded in 2011, and it came about because when I moved to Tacoma, as a theater artist, I didn't see a lot of opportunities for people of color to be on stage and to tell our own stories. It's very similar to what T.U.P.A.C is doing, only in the theater realm.
Yes.
And so my husband and I founded Dukesbay. We have sort of a twofold mission. One of them is we want to help independent theater thrive in Tacoma.
That's a huge mission to take on.
And so, thank you. And so we built a small 40-seat theater in the Merlino Art Center, which is the same building where the Grand Cinema is,
Yes.
only we're on the 3rd floor. And when we're not producing shows, we rent the theater space out to other small independent producers who also put on shows. And I think this has been a little bit of a game changer for actors here in Tacoma, because now we have a lot more opportunity to try out our craft, to be in shows, and many times these are shows that are looking for specifically for people of color to be in them.
I love that.
And so Dukesbay was founded so that we could also put on shows that not only tell the stories of people of color, but also put on shows that are, I guess we call it the Western theatrical canon. Things that are just classic shows that are written for a general audience, but we have a special eye for putting people of color in them intentionally.
Boy, talk about an outlet for our community, because I don't know any other theater that purposely focuses their mission on that. And boy, are you in good company in that building. I mean, from Tacoma City Ballet to, of course, food, Karina Bakery.
Yes.
But you pretty much have it all there. When you think about how this theater has directly impacted the arts, what do you come up with?
Well, I think part of it is what I've already said. There's a lot of actors, producers, directors in town who have always wanted to put something on themselves. And one of the biggest hurdles, I think, is where do I put this piece on? And it's hard to find a theater that you can afford, a theater that maybe is small enough that you can actually fill it up. Because if you're a brand new producer, you don't have a mailing list of 5,000 people that you can invite to see your show. And so with only 40 seats in our little theater, most people can fill that up or come close to it and put on a satisfying show, even if they're brand new to producing and don't really have an audience yet.
Well, it's a win-win. Congratulations,
I think so.
my dear.
Thank you.
Mr. Fischer, if someone has never heard of Tacoma Creates, how would we describe it?
Well, we would describe it as the culmination of a 12-year odyssey of public policy, which I'm sure the audience just their heart races at the narrative there. It began as a private sector business program to help infuse stability into the cultural sector. And we started working with the state legislature and the governor as a community-led program across all of Washington. That took 9 years to get the law enacted through Olympia. Governor signed it in 2015, and since then, individual communities have been working to try to get it passed. And Tacoma is the first city in the state to get a community-led taxing authority that will help create sustainability, help support the kind of access leadership that T.U.P.A.C and
Yes.
Dukesbay are doing.
Like here we
So
are.
It's a perfect intersection of all of that. And it's really going to focus in Tacoma. We've crafted it so that it meets Tacoma's needs.
Yes.
And so it should generate, as a taxing authority on sales tax, 1/10%, by the way. That's about $12 per household per year. So
Wow.
it's not onerous, but it will turn around and create public benefit for the residents of Tacoma through bringing about 52% of that fund back into Tacoma neighborhoods at the grassroots level, bringing arts, heritage, and science programs into the neighborhoods, into the schools for after-school programs, etc. The balance of the fund is going to create greater access to performance and museum institutions and other science or heritage institutions where we want to reduce the barrier for access, so free or reduced cost. And so all of this is going to come together. And then there's a great component in this that is a transportation piece for youth that's going to help increase youth mobility across the city, and a big chunk that's focusing on technical assistance with an important emphasis on diversity, equity, and inclusion training across the sector.
Oh, well said.
So it's going to be a good thing.
It is a good thing, and you are here representing many, many people who put this
Indeed.
together. Who would you like to mention and thank in this
There
last
are
20
really,
seconds?
honestly, tens of thousands
Yes.
of people that have been working on this for 12 years. Locally, I want to acknowledge Tanya Durand of the Children's Museum, and Green Trike is their new name,
Yes,
by the
it
way.
is.
And want to acknowledge her. She and I were the co-chairs of the campaign, and then we had a tremendous support of paid staff from the city and from across the state. So it's been, and then all of the voters, and
Yes.
really led politically by Councilmember Ryan Mello, who brought it forward so that it could be enabled within the city of Tacoma. So
love
this
that.
is just thousands and thousands of people to thank.
I want to say thank you to all three of you here on the couch, and the people who represent with you, the ones we couldn't get on the couch right now. You make art, heart, and soul much more accessible here in Tacoma. I thank you for that. And when you get your award, do yourself a favor and put it in the bathroom so people can take selfies with it. All right? Thank you so very much for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When we have a quick break that we need to observe, and when we come back, Symphony Tacoma will be here talking about Romeo and Juliet. You don't want to miss that. We'll be right back.